Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the highlights. Guyana urged to approach U.S. tariffs with caution. Court dismisses voter verification case. GCCI Symposium connects agriculture suppliers with commercial customers. And Strathspey Bridge opens following emergency repairs. Financial analyst Joel Bagwandin has urged caution in how Guyana and its regional partners respond to the recent tariffs imposed by the United States on imports entering the country. On Wednesday, April 2nd, the Trump administration imposed significant tariffs on several countries. Guyana was hit with reciprocal tariffs of 38%, much higher than the 10% tariff imposed on several other Caribbean nations. The government of Guyana in a statement said it's taken note of the reciprocal tariffs announced by the U.S. and is closely engaged with its U.S. partners to better understand the issue and have it addressed as appropriate. Bagwandin lauded this position, emphasizing that Guyana must get a more in-depth understanding of the situation before taking action, especially if it's to retaliate.
In Guyana's case, a retaliatory response may not necessarily be the desired approach since import duties and VAT are applied to U.S. imports. While I appreciate this is a complex issue and would require far more in-depth analyses, we can nonetheless construct a simple scenario analysis to understand the implications and issues of fairness in the application of the 38% U.S. tariff.
Bagwandin explained that Guyana's Common External Tariff, CET, rate ranges from 5% to 20%, with a 40% tariff rate on agricultural products, and duties attracting a 14% VAT that applies equally to imports and locally produced goods and services, with exceptions for certain green technologies. He further clarified that Guyana does not apply a blanket CET rate to U.S. imports and provided scenarios that illustrated how varying rates could have little to no impact or could potentially place Guyana in a worse position. Regarding CARICOM, he noted that the issue would have varying degrees of impact on regional nations, which would require them to examine the matter both individually and as a bloc in order to assess the impacts, implications, and possible responses, not necessarily to retaliate.
With that in mind, Guyana and the CARICOM region would have to perform, firstly, a more thorough analysis to understand the full implications and would have to consider a general revision or reduction of current CET rates that apply, with the view that the U.S. would reciprocally reduce their tariff rates applicable to Guyana and the region.
The United States is a leading trade and investment partner for Guyana. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce's 2023 Bilateral Trade Report, two-way trade reached approximately $4.5 billion, with Guyana enjoying a surplus of nearly $2 billion. Major U.S. exports to Guyana included machinery, petroleum products, fabricated metal products, chemicals, and computer and electrical products. Major Guyanese exports to the United States included oil and gas, minerals and ores, primary metal manufacturers, and processed foods. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, does not need to verify the address of persons registered to vote. This is according to a ruling by Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George. Today, Justice George dismissed the case brought by People's National Congress Reform Chief Scrutineer Carl Smith Joseph. In her judgment, Justice George noted that addresses provided to GECOM at the time of registration must be accepted by the electoral body. It is not the Commission's role to verify the addresses claimed by registrants. According to the ruling, this information must be accepted by GECOM and included in the National Register of Registrants, followed by the official list of electors, in accordance with requirements of Article 159 of Guyana's Constitution. Counsel for the Elections Commission, Kurt De Silva, had highlighted in his submission that address verification was required for regional elections. However, in her consideration, the Chief Justice stated that this matter needed to be addressed at the level of the National Assembly. Attorney General Anil Nandalal, in reacting to the ruling, said that confirms once again that there's no legal requirement for a Guyanese citizen to be resident in Guyana in order to be registered or to vote. Farmers, agro-processors, caterers, and suppliers are now better connected with hotels, supermarkets, and other commercial consumers following a symposium held yesterday. The event, which was hosted at the Splashman's Resort, was conducted by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry in collaboration with WSC Caribbean, their agricultural ministry, and other stakeholders. Chairman of the Agriculture Committee and Junior Vice President of the Chamber, Brian Edwards, said the symposium created an environment for meaningful partnerships.
This is an opportunity for both sectors to interact with each other, where the farmers can actually introduce themselves, their products that are available for purchase from the hospitality industry, and the hospitality industry telling the farmers what are some of their needs and wants with regards to fresh vegetables and meats. This is an opportunity for both sectors. One is to the hospitality industry to buy local, and the farmers to improve their businesses and have opportunities to expand in their businesses locally. So today we're hoping that there are some relationships forged, and this is just the beginning of a conversation. We'll have other opportunities for farmers to meet with these continuously with these businesses so that they can continue to grow each other's business and work together to help the industry to develop and cut down on the imports for fresh fruit and vegetables.
Agricultural Business Marketing Manager attached to the Caribbean Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean project at WSC Caribbean, Parmanand Chandranath, said the aim is for farmers and attendees to achieve sustainability as well as enhance their income and productivity.
What we're doing is going to various farming communities in region 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, trying to build capacity, provide an awareness session in these communities. And what we found is that the one major thing that farmers and processors ask about is information. Where is the next market? How do you create the market linkages? And so it's never somebody come in and talk to them. It's always been an interactive session. In fact, the farmers were able to influence market actors' strategies. So for example, the lady this morning speak about GBTI growth. They've been going out with us for the last 3 years or so as well. They've been hearing the farmers saying, look, you have to make this thing more easier for us to access financing. They've gone about and established GBTI growth. Now, soon after that, the government also enacted legislation that make access to financing a whole lot easier. So the whole system then, which is the market system around the farming agriculture sector, has been strengthened and is continuing to be strengthened because of this interaction and collaboration that we are having with the private sector and the public sector.
Agro-processor and farmer Lance Hines of House of Honey told Ignite News that he was able to benefit from information for potential partners for value-added products.
So coming out of this, this is to find out who we can partner with, who we can get into business engagements with, and on long-term mutually beneficial arrangements. This is very useful. We should have some more of these because one of the things that we don't know all the time is who is producing what. So by virtue of this kind of information sharing, it makes everyone better prepared and better able to sell their products.
East Coast commuters are breathing a sigh of relief as the previously closed Strathspey Bridge is now open. Tandika Percival visited the bridge and filed a brief report.
Thank you, Rihanna. Following emergency works, the Strathspey Bridge opened to light vehicle traffic at 6 a.m. this morning. The bridge had been closed since March 27 when an overladen truck travels what the Ministry of Public Works described as an already compromised section of the bridge. This led to a total collapse. Initially, the ministry had announced that the rehabilitation of the bridge would be incorporated into the timeline of the construction of the 4-lane carriageway along the railway embankment. This was projected to take between 70 and 90 days. However, the frustration of commuters and complaints lodged with the ministry led to a decision to have emergency works completed within 48 hours. These works were completed and the bridge was opened. Trucks are banned.
We have lost 6 aquafunnel bridges already in a year on the railway embankment. We can't continue to do it. And every time one is broken, it's exactly what happened the last 2 days, happened while we're trying to restore it. The railway embankment is putting in concrete infrastructure for bridges. What we have is the aquapanel steel bridges that they are breaking. There is a 4-lane Rupert Craig Highway that continues with an extension all the way over the Mahaica Bridge, all the way into Borvis. Trucks use that road.
Thank you, Tandika. The Georgian Chamber of Commerce and Industry has expressed keen interest in updating the local content schedule, particularly in increasing the percentage of contracts allocated to local companies. During a courtesy visit with Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat, the Chamber highlighted concerns surrounding the development of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. A team from the Chamber, led by newly elected President Cathy Smith, also discussed the establishment of financial institutions to cater to the needs of these enterprises and the expansion of local content utilization. Smith noted that the Chamber's membership has grown significantly in recent years, with many members successfully tapping into the oil and gas industry. Regarding capacity building, she provided insights into Micro and Women Entrepreneur Learning Center, which is currently under development at the Georgetown Chamber. She explained that the initiative will provide a platform for advancement and advocating for concessions for Guyanese businesses. Minister Bharat assured the Chamber that the proposed updates to the local content schedule will be shared for further consultation. Guyana signed a $22 million One Health project agreement with the World Bank to strengthen the country's capacity to prevent, prepare for, and respond to future health emergencies. The project is funded through a $7 million loan from the World Bank and a $50 million grant from the Pandemic Fund. The initiative will focus on strengthening Guyana's health surveillance systems, enhancing laboratory and workforce capacity, improving border security, and implementing a rapid data-driven health surveillance system. According to Attorney General Anil Nandlal, the main opposition parties are interested in dividing the spoils of government, not in contributing to the people of Guyana. Nandlal contends that public statements on negotiations between the Alliance for Change and the Partnership for National Unity show that the true intention of the parties is to gaining power, not improve the lives of the Guyanese people.
You would have expected that these two parties will sit down and the first item on the agenda is what would be their development plan for the Guyanese people. How, if they win the government, they will eradicate poverty that they're speaking about so much. How they will address all the issues that they keep criticizing the government in respect to. I thought they would have told us how they will get investments and how they will ensure that they will reduce crime and unemployment and all the many things that they keep promising. But their first task at the table is how they will share the government.
The two parties are currently discussing the terms of the partnership ahead of the coming national elections set for later this year. Hundreds of patients in need of a dialysis treatments are now better able to pay as the government expands the dialysis support program. What began in 2020 as a one-time cash grant to help patients cover dialysis costs has now expanded into a comprehensive initiative that supports hundreds of dialysis patients across the country. From assisting just 63 patients in 2020, the program has grown to help 428 in 2023. It is projected that 600 will benefit in 2025. Spanning all 10 regions of Guyana, the program includes both public and private dialysis centers, easing the financial burden on patients and making essential health care more accessible. This initiative has provided hope and relief to many, ensuring they can continue receiving the critical treatments they need.
That I was so active doing things all the time. My first year of dialysis, I was always thinking about how difficult it was financially to pay for dialysis. And I just didn't think about myself. I was thinking about the people that I met there, because everybody would talk about how hard it was to pay for dialysis. Some people only did dialysis one time a week, which was dangerous for them because that was all they could afford. And when I saw in the budget that we were getting $600,000, I was so happy that there was money there to help us finally. Well, mentally, I'm much.
With this continued support, persons with kidney failure can focus on their recovery and health, knowing that the government is committed to making dialysis more accessible and affordable across the country. The Ministry of Education has launched a 10-year policy for the development of technical and vocational learning. The TVET Policy 2025 to 2035 aims to equip students with world-class skills essential for a dynamic and competitive global economy through practical training, workforce development, and knowledge enhancement. It seeks to improve education quality, create employment opportunities, and expand access to training in key sectors such as oil and gas, climate-resilient agriculture, hospitality, and digital technology. Minister of Education Priya Manik Chan emphasized that the policy will serve as a guiding framework for TVET institutions nationwide, ensuring that students are adequately skilled to contribute to the new era of development.
We have entire academic papers and research that suggests that the traditional academic degrees, 4-year degrees, bachelors of whatever, are no longer as marketable or useful as a skill earned. And so that the encouragement is that countries should invest more than usual and more proportionately in TVET education. And so we have all these questions arising. And in that atmosphere, we found ourselves in Guyana without a guiding document. And while this is a 10-year policy, I expect because everything is evolving and evolving so quickly, that there is going to be a review of this, and there may be amendments with either deletions or additions. But this is our guiding policy for TVET in Guyana. It guides not only us in the Ministry of Education, it will guide the Ministry of Labor, it's going to guide the Ministry of Human Services, who does some kind of training with women. It's going to guide the University of Guyana. It's going to guide the Cyril Potter College of Education. It's going to guide anyone involved in training our young people.
Manik Chan further highlighted that access to TVET is expanding across the country, with new technical institutions being established in regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. This expansion is made possible through government funding and partnerships with the World Bank and the Caribbean Development Bank. Internationally, the Trump administration's new package of tariffs could significantly hurt the United States economy. CNN has reported that countries are beginning to retaliate. However, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said President Donald Trump will not revise his plans. The president is not going to back off, Lutnick told CNN's Pamela Brown in an interview Thursday. He added that countries can fix their own tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers are much, much rougher. His comments came as global financial markets experienced their worst trading day since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Experts are predicting that the average American household will pay $2,100 more per year for goods because of the slew of new tariffs President Donald Trump announced. On Wednesday, the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation said that Trump's plan will lead to a significant $900 billion decline in America's imports. They explained the decline will come as consumers shift to American goods or simply choose not to buy certain items that will become too expensive. And finally, in sports, the United Kingdom is set to host the 2035 Women's Football World Cup as the sole valid bidder for the tournament, FIFA announced. According to the BBC, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland submitted a joint expression of interest in March to hold the World Cup across the home nations. Under FIFA rotation rules, the tournament must be in Europe or Africa. Spain's federation president said last week that they were working on a joint bid alongside Portugal and Morocco. However, after the Monday deadline, only the United Kingdom had submitted a bid. The United States is set to host the 2031 edition. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.